Last week, you watched us get Seahorse out of the water once again. It's that time of year where we put her ashore and lay her up for a few months while the worst of the weather goes by, spending that time to get her ready for next year's season. So this week, with a dinghy in bits, waiting for me to do up, and Seahorse on the hard, there's not much in the way of sailing. So I spent lunchtime visiting one of those creeks that's right on my doorstep, and yet somehow we've never got around to sailing round to it and having a look on the boat. So the creek in question is Faversham Creek. It's located on the southeast corner of England, just below the Isle of Sheppey, coming off of the Swale. You don't go far on the way into it before you have to make a decision. Do I go left or right? Well, everywhere is mud around here, so you have to be careful. But if you head right, you head up to Orr Creek and towards the Hollow Shore Cruising Club. There's a pub here called the Shipwrights Arms, and some local services in the yard. It's fairly obvious you're on the east coast when you're here, because all the boats have got that brown staining to them where they've been sitting in the mud. And most of them are shallow draft, or bilge keelers, or lifting keel, or any manner of other boats that don't mind sitting on the mud. But there are some fin keelers around. I don't know anything about Wharf, but looking at it, it's one of the many places around here that helps service and look after the Thames barges. Just in this short lunchtime walk, I found 3 or 4 of the Thames barges hidden in amongst all the other boats that you'd never know existed unless you drove up the windy, muddy track towards this club. There's a lot of sailing goes on, hidden away, up little lanes and along little muddy creeks on the east coast. It's not very long, this creek though, and after half a mile or so it comes to a road and ends. But that's where the Hollow Shore Cruising Club clubhouse is. There's a small pontoon and more hard standing for the boats. Now, if you go back to that left or right decision that we had earlier, and if you take the other fork, right as we look at it, left as you come in, you have a slightly longer journey. Carrying on along Faversham Creek, along the winding river, and if you follow it long enough, you'll find yourself at Wharf. And this was really the motivation for making this film, because on this particular day, I wanted to get something from Mark at the Faversham Chandlery. Unfortunately, I picked the day he's closed, which was a shame, because unlike a lot of chandleries, it's a good blend of modern high-tech equipment alongside things made of wood and leather and copper and brass and all those other things that don't seem to have a place on a modern boat, but that come alive on the sort of boat that you'd find in this boatyard. It's a real mix of boats. There's fiberglass boats, wooden boats, steel boats, boats that have been done up, boats that badly need doing up, and boats that probably are beyond being done up. But who am I to judge? It has a look of a boatyard that's been here forever. But actually, according to what I found out on the internet, it's only been here for 20-25 years or so, and was set up by some of the members of the Thames sailing barges that I spoke about earlier as a means of looking after them. But it's not just Thames barges here, there really is everything you can imagine. From racing boats, old and new, catamarans, monohulls, there's the barges that I spoke of earlier, there's motorboats, there's sailing boats, there's houseboats, there's narrow boats from the canals. Of course there's also a lot more mud, but I think we've done the mud thing by now. For those of you that follow Paul on Just About Sailing, this is also where Serenity is spending her winter while she undergoes her refit. So that's about it. There are loads of boats like this in this yard. I've only shown you a few of them, but you get the idea. Next week, I'm not sure we'll be sailing again either, but I'll show you what I've been doing to our National 12 dinghy in an attempt to get it ready for our first race on New Year's Day.